King Poseidon and King Neptune are from completely separate timelines. That's why we never see any reference to King Poseidon in the show.
What the fuck? That's what we're doing now. Alternate timelines. Where we're really just, oh, my head hurt. SpongeBob Conspiracy 5, the Neptune theory.
So, the continuity with King Neptune is a bit of a mess. There are 2 different King Neptunes. There's a King Poseidon. There's 3 different royal palaces. 2 of them are called the City of Atlantis, but there's also a 3rd unrelated City of Atlantis. It's confusing to say the least. But there is actually a way to explain how all of this is intentional and connects together. This is a story of power, deception, and betrayal. This is the Neptune theory.
I didn't realize there was more than one Neptune. I only know the one from the movie. I only know that one. None of these other ones.
That was probably nothing.
There's no tension. The pacing is slow.
Oh no, they on your ass.
As a film. Alex, go back to making SpongeBob theory videos. No one wants to see your awful horror films. I've been your host, the one and only cynical critic, and remember to stay cynical.
Damn, Alex, they on your ass. That would never be me, Alex. I support anything you do. Hold up, I was told 66% of y'all aren't subbed up, so go ahead and sub up and join the fam, and don't forget to follow me on Twitch. Link is in the description.
And we're back! What's up? I'm your host Alex, the SpongeBob guy, back with another SpongeBob conspiracy. I've said it before, but the overwhelming support for these videos is insane. So, I'd be stupid not to make more. I mean, everyone loves them, right?
Hello, fellow truth seekers, it's Conspiracy Carl here. Welcome back to The Awakening.
This nigga's back, but who is he? Who is the? He's back, but why?
I have been awakened myself to the immense lies.
He's gonna get struck down by lightning with this tinfoil on his head. Yeah, Post Malone on his... Is that Alex or Post Malone? Oh, he has no face tattoo. That must be Alex.
Of this person right here. This liar, Alex Bale.
Well, almost everyone. So I showed a bit of this conspiracy guy's reaction in my last video, and apparently he didn't like that, so now he's claiming that I'm part of some giant Illuminati conspiracy.
Somebody looks like they're a puppet for the Illuminati. Yes, you, sir, have been inserting secret messages into your videos. Evil. Evil lurks there, people.
Evil! There's evil afoot! Evil!
It's honestly really funny. You should check him out. Anyways, let's get into the theory.
The
King
movie,
Neptune
the
is
only
the ruler
Neptune
of
I
the
know.
7 seas and the Roman god of the ocean. If you watch my evolution theory, you know there's also a good chance he's the reason why fish in Bikini Bottom are so evolved and able to talk. He lives in the city of Atlantis with his wife,
Queen. I see why she's the queen. Golly.
Amphitrite, and his son Triton. But in the first SpongeBob movie, he's replaced by a completely different King Neptune who has a completely different daughter named Mindy. These guys—
Never mind. I only know this, the green Irwin.
don't look or sound at all the same.
Facts.
So how can they both exist in this universe? Well, there's already an interesting theory out there about this. It's widely believed that the SpongeBob movie takes place in the future after the events of the show. So widely believed that I got hundreds of comments about it in my Mrs. Puff theory. Yep, I know guys, I heard what you said. The creator of SpongeBob, Steven Hillenburg, said he wanted to end the series with the movie, and it being canonically at the end of the SpongeBob timeline would explain why we never see the Krusty Krab 2, or any of the other characters from the movie in the later SpongeBob episodes. And some people believe that the reason why movie Neptune is so different is because he's actually Neptune's son, Triton, all grown up. And that's a pretty cool theory, but I don't
doesn't
buy
make
it.
sense. Yeah,
Other
that doesn't
than
make
Triton
sense.
looking nothing like movie Neptune, I've
Yeah.
never actually believed that the SpongeBob movie takes place in the future. Despite there being many people who commented about it on my Mrs. Puff theory as if it was a proven fact, there's never actually been any official confirmation of it. Steven Hillenburg only said that he wanted to stop making SpongeBob after the movie. He never said anything about where the movie actually takes place in the timeline of the show.
Okay.
And we do actually briefly see Neptune's daughter Mindy show up later in the show in SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout.
I do
There's
remember
no way
that.
she'd be there unless
I wouldn't hit. Are y'all hitting Mindy? Are y'all hitting Mindy? Is Mindy her? Are y'all?
The show took place after the events of the movie. I think what's actually going on here with Neptune is something much more interesting, and it ties directly in with going on.
It honestly looked like he just got depressed, so he started drinking. That's what it looked like. He started drinking, so his skin started to get pale too. He just depressed.
Here with Neptune is something much more interesting, and it ties directly in with the television theory. If you haven't seen that video, it basically proves that the entire show, SpongeBob SquarePants, is actually a nature documentary being filmed by scuba divers, and many of the elements we see throughout the series are secretly set up by the showrunners to make sure that the show is more entertaining and profitable. And this applies to the SpongeBob movie as well. There's promotional art and even a commercial that acknowledges the fact that it's just a movie being filmed.
Hello? SpongeBob, what kind of jellyfish is that?
Hey guys, it's Carlos from the Zone. Can you tell us about your latest adventure?
Well, this one adventure we had was a real Lulu.
You mean when we went after Neptune's crown? It seemed bigger than our usual adventures.
Yes, and with fewer interruptions.
Well, thanks guys. We'll see you in the movie.
The only time SpongeBob and Patrick ever thoroughly made sense together in a conversation. Any other time they're beside each other communicating and talking, they sound like nonsense. But okay.
What's that?
I know.
I think the real reason why Neptune looks so different in the movie is because the filmmakers couldn't get the real King Neptune, the literal god of the sea, to show up for a movie. So they hired an actor to pretend to be the king.
What?
And there is actually a ton of evidence in the show to support this. King Neptune is supposed to live in the great city of Atlantis, but in the movie he just lives in some random sandcastle, almost like they just built a discount version for the movie. But the real evidence comes from season 10, episode 18, Lost and Found, where SpongeBob goes beneath the Krusty Krab to look for something in the Lost and Found. As he searches through this surprisingly massive collection of items, on one of the shelves we see something mind-blowing. The crown worn by King Neptune in the SpongeBob movie.
I don't know. The balls are a different color. I don't know. Maybe Mr. Krabs trying to sell them for a quick buck because we know Mr. Krab is cheap. I don't know.
The entire plot of the movie hinges on the fact that Neptune thinks Mr. Krabs stole his crown. Why would Mr. Krabs have this now? Because this isn't just the Krusty Krabs Lost and Found. It's also where they store the props used by the SpongeBob SquarePants filmmakers to create the SpongeBob movie.
I guess.
If you remember from my television theory,
he did say Mr. Krabs is in on it. That is one thing he said from the theory.
Mr. Krabs is secretly working for the showrunners to spy on all the main characters, and his secret surveillance room was hidden beneath the Krusty Krab just like this Lost and Found. So it makes perfect sense for the showrunners to hide their props down here. And if you still don't believe me, we also see
Are these the monkeys from Black Ops 2? Is Mr. Krabs preparing for a zombie outbreak? What?
SpongeBob's guitar, the Goofy Goober peanut hats, and the magical bag of wind. All items from the movie that would make no sense being down here unless this was the showrunner's prop storage, and the
they possibly just slick references they wanted to throw in, maybe?
movie King Neptune was just an actor. Well, that's one Neptune down. Now for the real mystery, King Poseidon.
I don't know this Neptune. I don't know who this is. Or King Poseidon, I don't know
In the
who
third
this is.
SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, the
never
King
seen
of the
it.
Sea is yet again replaced by a new character, King Poseidon, the Greek god of the ocean. He actually does live in the city of Atlantis, except instead of the ancient royal architecture, it's a giant casino designed to make money. It'd be easy to say that these are just two separate kings that rule different areas of the sea,
Yeah.
but they both claim to be the ruler of the seven seas. So how can two different characters both be the king of the same seven seas? The answer to that question actually has to do with a place called Camp Coral. Throughout the third SpongeBob movie, we keep cutting back to flashbacks of a younger SpongeBob and all the other characters when they all went to summer camp.
They look cute as hell. Why the hell is Squidward over here playing the clarinet? You mean Squidward been playing the clarinet since he was yay high and is still trash? Put it down. You need to play something else. Play like a guitar. Play a bongos or something. Clearly this clarinet is not working. Pick up like a banjo, bro.
Camp together. This was all to set up a spin-off show called Camp Coral that followed these younger characters. Now at first, I just wrote the show off as SpongeBob following the trend of making all their characters younger to appeal to a younger demographic. It's been done before and it's never very good. The
It is
characters
actually
younger
always
to
very
appeal to a
good.
younger
Teen Titans Go is actually just as good, if not better, than Teen Titans.
demographic. It's been done before and
Then Total Drama
never very-
Mama, I'll give it like a 9 out of 10. Total Drama Island itself is like a 7 out of 10. I just lied for the last 45 seconds, by by the way. Just saying. The last 45 seconds were
good.
Yeah.
They also completely contradict the continuity of the main show by having characters like Sandy and SpongeBob meet as kids when we know they actually met as adults in the main show. Look, I am having a hard enough time figuring out this show's continuity on its own. I do not need another show full of contradictions to make it even harder. But the creators actually did something very clever to make the continuity work. The 7th episode of Camp Coral ends with one of the biggest plot twists I've ever seen from this show.
I know this man got depressed and started questioning his life when he started to watch this Camp Coral. I know, because I've never even heard of this. I didn't know this existed. I didn't know this was a show, so I know him doing all this digging. I know he's depressed.
So in this episode, SpongeBob actually discovers the Krabby Patty secret formula way before it was supposed to be created by Mr. Krabs. But at the end of the episode, it gets accidentally destroyed by Sandy, and then we get this mind-blowing scene.
This is Little Cheeks calling Big Cheeks. Come in.
Little Cheeks calling Big Cheeks? Is that Coyle Ray trying to call Cardi B?
Come in, Big Cheeks. Over. Affirmative, Little Cheeks. This is Big Cheeks receiving you from the future.
What the world?
How are things going in the past? Your plan worked perfectly. The formula burned up before Mr. Plankton could nab it. Now it can be safely rediscovered in the future. I knew sending you to Camp Coral was the right thing to do. Over and out. Bye, feature me.
So she has a time machine? Sandy has a time machine? You're telling me she went back in time and told her past self, hey, go to Camp Coral. And she has a device that can speak through different times. Not even Bulma has that type of device yet. Sandy's smarter than Bulma?
Mission accomplished, timeline preserved. Now everything can continue just the way it's always been.
So Sandy used time travel to send her past self to Camp Coral so that she could make sure the Krabby Patty formula didn't get discovered before it was supposed to. They actually figured out a way to make this messed up continuity make sense. Don't you dare tell me this show doesn't care about its continuity. Can I also just say that this scene lines up perfectly with my television theory? A major part of that theory is that Sandy is actually a spy working—
I'm reaching? What do you mean I'm reaching? What did I do that was reaching? Well, I didn't say a single thing that was reaching.
The showrunners and is secretly making sure everything stays on track. And then what do we see a month after I post my theory? Sandy secretly manipulating everyone to keep the show on track. Just gonna give myself a little pat on the back there. But enough gloating. What does any of this have to do with King Poseidon? Well, this proves that Camp Coral and the movie that sets it up are in an alternate timeline. The events that have taken place in the show are not the same events in this movie. The continuity errors like Sandy and SpongeBob meeting, or Poseidon being the king of the sea instead of Neptune, can be explained by this shift in the timeline. So there you go. King Poseidon and King Neptune are from completely separate timelines. That's why we never see any reference to King Poseidon in the show.
What the fuck? That's what we're doing now. Alternate timelines. Where we're really just oh my head hurt. What is this, like ReZero? Erased? What anime compares to this type of nonsense in all these timelines? I know Dragon Ball has its alternate timelines, but golly. Oh, let me pop my back, let me pop my crack. I'm about to throw that thing out in your head.
And that is the Neptune theory. Huh, I mean, that wasn't so hard. I guess I'm done here.
Neptune stirred up quite a gale tonight. He must be mad about something.
That's silly. Everyone knows Poseidon is ruler of the undersea.
So what, we having Egyptian gods versus Greek gods? Is that what's happening right now? And then let me guess, Jesus is gonna come out of nowhere and just slap them both in the face. Like what?
Everyone knows Poseidon is ruler of the undersea.
Why can't anything ever be easy? This is the clip that really made me decide to make this theory. The beginning of Season 5, Episode 19, Spongehenge, shows two fish arguing over whether Neptune or Poseidon is the real ruler of the sea. It's like the creators are directly telling us that both of these characters somehow exist in the same timeline, and it's our job to figure out how the puzzle pieces fit together. So, let's take a look. Despite both of these characters having similar appearances and personalities—
okay, let's look at similar appearances. Wristbands and belts. That is the only thing similar about them. They're both, what, mermans? They do not look similar at all. Reaching.
There is one very important difference between them.
Skin
Poseidon
color?
doesn't have powers. We've seen many times that King Neptune has magical abilities that he can use at any time, even without his trident. But in the entire third SpongeBob movie, we never see Poseidon use any powers or magical abilities, except for lighting up his trident, but all he has to do for that is just flip a switch. And we
So
know
he's
from the episode
fake!
Trident Trouble that you don't even need to be a god to use the trident. And at the
Well, what if Poseidon was actually just a fake the whole time, and he just manipulated people into spreading the fact that he was this being, but in reality he's just a faker.
end of the third movie, we find out Poseidon is actually in terrible shape. If you remember at the end of the episode Neptune's Spatula, Neptune briefly turned SpongeBob into a god, and we can see that having god powers gives you a perfect body. So why is Poseidon in such terrible shape? Because he doesn't actually have powers.
Yeah.
Only Neptune does. Even Neptune's wife, Queen Amphitrite, has to use technology to zap someone, unlike Neptune, who only has to use his finger in the exact same episode. He is clearly the only one with powers, but why? To answer this question, we first have to understand the origins of King Neptune. Now, throughout the show, there is very little information on Neptune's past. I read the Wikipedia, I looked through the comic books, the video games, but I just couldn't find anything that would help me. But then I remembered there are SpongeBob shorts, which are like mini episodes that only air once, usually to promote something. So I started looking to see if there were any that could help us, and
YouTube Shorts got inspiration from SpongeBob. SpongeBob's the OG? SpongeBob just be influencing everything I see.
Lo and behold, there is a SpongeBob short called The Story of King Neptune. Huh. Yeah, I guess that could be helpful. This short is about SpongeBob telling Patrick the origins of King Neptune, but it's not entirely clear whether it's true.
The story of King Neptune. When King Neptune was a little Neptune, his mother set him adrift in a river. As he floated along, a radioactive meteor fell to Earth. An alien appeared and anointed the infant with super Neptune fluid.
Is that really the origin of King Neptune?
Sure.
So King Neptune was abandoned as a baby and then given his powers by aliens. But SpongeBob is holding an upside-down comic book, so it feels a lot like something he just made up. And SpongeBob is not the most reliable narrator. Unless there's something in the story that we can definitively prove, I don't think we can use it for a theory. Like, do you really expect me to believe that Neptune got his powers from aliens? I mean,
Maybe. There's probably some proof of aliens in SpongeBob. He's literally about to say, like, do you really think I believe there's aliens in SpongeBob? But he's gonna be like, wait, season 4, episode 3287. This scene right here at 5.36 seconds. You can see in the top right corner that, like, he's gonna do something like that.
We've never even seen aliens in the show before. Except we have.
I just
and
said
they just
this!
so happen to also live in a city called Atlantis. Season 5, episode 12, Atlantis Square Pantis, we see another completely different
season 4 though. I should have said season 5.
Different Atlantis, the lost city of Atlantis, a city that's home to a race of aliens. The Atlantean aliens traveled billions of light years to come to this planet and build their city.
For reasons unknown, this great city disappeared one day.
I remember this episode.
But no ruins were ever found. All the inventions you take for granted were given to us by the Atlanteans.
They were a peaceful race of aliens who
So
shared
they're
their
like the
technology, but then
Athenians or
mysteriously
Athens.
disappeared for some reason. And take a guess what we find when we look inside of that city. A massive sculpture of King Neptune. That story about aliens giving Neptune his powers doesn't sound so far-fetched now, does it?
It does.
That's not all we find.
It still does. I don't hear what you said.
Ascension, the only surviving painting from the great lost city of Atlantis.
A painting created by the Atlanteans called Neptune's Ascension, aka Neptune ascending to his god status by being given powers by the Atlantean aliens. The story is definitely referencing this. There are too many connections by the Atlantean aliens.
Okay, you're talking about that, but why is there human babies as angels? What about that? Where's the theory on that? Because why do I have baby buns in my face?
The story is definitely referencing this. There are too many connections for this to be a coincidence. So even though it's being told by SpongeBob, and details like the alien's appearance are wrong, the story itself is probably based on truth. And there's also a lot of evidence to support the idea that Neptune was abandoned as a baby. In Clash of Triton, Neptune is watching a soap opera in his bedroom and gets upset when his wife turns it off.
Oh,
Oh, Neptune, surely this isn't the behavior befitting a king, doing nothing but watching daytime television.
Let him watch daytime television, bro.
Rochelle was just about to meet her biological parents.
In the soap opera, Rochelle was just about to meet her biological parents. Maybe the real reason why Neptune's so invested in the soap opera is because he's never met his biological parents either.
I can't wait until he explains like the deep story behind what fucking Teletubbies and the deepness behind Max and Ruby and the Backyardigans, and he just breaks all of that down. The breakdown of Arthur too, like, oh my goodness.
Even tissues on the table next to him as if he's been crying. And the idea that Neptune was abandoned as a baby works perfectly with the mythology in the show. Neptune is the Roman god of the sea, but he is the only reference to Roman mythology in the show. Everything else we see is from Greek mythology. In the episode Trident Trouble, we see a Greek chorus.
Behold, we're the Greek chorus. We narrate this epic tale.
Neptune once mentioned Zeus, the Greek god of thunder.
So I say, look, Zeus, either you come up with more money, or Neptune walks.
He also mentions Apollo, the Greek god of the sun.
Now behold, my beloved home of Atlantis. A prize worthy of Apollo.
Even in the city of Atlantis where Neptune lives, there's a building named the Poseidon, clearly named after Poseidon. So Neptune is clearly the outsider here, which is why he was abandoned as a baby. But if the sea is actually ruled by Greek mythology, then Poseidon should be the true heir to the throne. Why is Neptune the king in the show? Because after Neptune was given his god powers by aliens, he returned to Atlantis and stole the throne from Poseidon. This would explain why there's so much confusion over who the real king is.
Neptune like that?
Quite a gale tonight.
Everyone knows Poseidon is ruler of the undersea.
Legally, Poseidon should be the king, but Neptune took it by force. And that
Neptune
not only took from Poseidon, Neptune's wife, Queen Amphitrite, is the goddess of the sea. The Greek goddess of the sea, aka the wife of Poseidon.
He stole Poseidon's girl! That's why they're the same color. Oh! 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 He got his girl snatched! Could never be me, personally. Like, that would have happened to me. He would have got his tail yanked off. He wouldn't have no tail. That is crazy to me. That's a menace. That's insane. Okay, so Neptune got it like that. No, in fact, no, she's just a thought. It's not Neptune, she's a thought. She saw a man with more powers. As soon as her man got put down, she left him for another man who was in a more fortunate situation at that time. That is crazy. That is crazy. Message. That's insane.
Damn, Neptune stole his wife and his throne. That is cold. And eventually, everyone did recognize Neptune as the rightful king.
And that's why Poseidon's fat and ugly, because he got depressed.
Pink Fish, who seemed adamant about Poseidon being the king, completely changes her mind one season later in Clash of Triton.
Oh, wait a minute, King Neptune is coming here? Oh, I'm a huge fan of the royal family. I just love everything they do.
And
that's just like Poseidon's wife. The whole switched like this in 20 episodes.
That is the real story of King Neptune. The reason why Poseidon is king in the third movie is probably because in that timeline, Neptune was never given his god powers, so he never stole the throne from Poseidon. Although, seeing as how Poseidon turned Atlantis into a big casino cash grab city, maybe it's a good thing Neptune took over.
Yeah.
The lost city of Atlantic City.
And that is the Neptune theory. That was a tough one, but we are finally done. See you next time, guys. Wait, why is Poseidon City called the Lost City of Atlantic City?
The Lost City of Atlantic City.
I mean, the Atlantic City Park makes sense. That's a reference to the real-life Atlantic City, but
why is
it called the Lost City? There is nothing lost about the city. It seems like everyone's easily able to find it. The only other reference to a lost city of Atlantis is the one with the aliens that gave Neptune his powers. Nope, I don't care. I'm done with this theory. I don't need to answer every single little question. I am 100% done.
The Atlantean aliens. Oh, God.
Fine, okay? One more quick part just to tie up all the loose ends, and then I am done. Alright, here we go. So we know before the Atlantean aliens mysteriously disappeared, they shared their technology with the creatures of the sea. I think the self-proclaimed gods of the sea got their technology, like tridents and their other weapons, from the Atlantean aliens. In fact, the Atlantean guards even use golden tridents as their weapons. That's why the gods named their city Atlantis, to pay tribute to the Atlanteans that gave them their technology. But all of that changed when Poseidon became king of the sea. He betrayed the Atlanteans and used their own weapons against them to conquer their home and turn it into a casino city.
It's giving Christopher Columbus once he made friends with the Native Americans. It's giving Christopher Columbus.
Why Poseidon City is called the Lost City, even though it's not lost. It's referencing the Atlantean city that was conquered by Poseidon. And the reason why the Atlanteans gave god powers to some random abandoned baby in the main timeline was so that Neptune could take the throne from Poseidon and prevent him from conquering the alien city. And the reason why the Atlantean city mysteriously disappeared was because they hid it so no one could ever try and conquer them again. And that...
But how did they time travel? They didn't say nothing about them being able to time travel. When did they get the ability to time travel? They're stealing Sandy's flow. I don't like it.
And that is the Neptune theory. I am done. Okay, that's another one done. Thank you so much for watching.
How did they get time travel?
We've got more on the way. I'll see you next time.
No, how did they time travel?
Listen, that theory was awesome. You know, I don't know how you keep coming up with these, but I mean, they're great.
They are aliens? So? I don't care that they're aliens.
Listen, you were totally right, you know? The people want SpongeBob theories, so who am I to ignore them? So, thank you. Hello? Got the meat for you.
This is making my booty twitch.
Alright, listen. If we're gonna work on this, then we need to work on our communication skills, because this creepy quiet act is getting old. Alright.
What type of demon is this man talking to? I promise you, if you jump scare me, we're gonna have a problem. I better not get jump scared. We really gonna have a problem if you jump scare me. Is this nigga going crazy? Conspiracy 6? Nothing's real? Everything's fake? It was all a dream! Biggie? Biggie got featured in SpongeBob? SpongeBob series Conspiracy 6, reproduction theory. I mean, reproducing theory, yes.
Why are you on my ceiling?
My boy, you have done well.
Thank you.
But if we are to continue our work, I will require something more.
Anal penetration. Do you want your booty licked? What does he want? He didn't tell me what he wanted. I hate when people ask like, hey, I want more out of you, but you're not gonna tell me what. Like, bro, I got the answers if you want them. You're just not trying to comply. That was a 10 out of 10 theory though, besides the fact that the aliens know time travel. How do we know that? Why do we know that? Where did the proof of that come from? The only smart person we know is Sandy. Cheeks. Yeah, big cheeks.